started to emerge from the pandemic, clubs are anxious to begin meeting again in person, of course, with state and CDC guidelines in place. And since beautiful weather is now upon us, it's the perfect time to consider having an outdoor flower show. It will allow judges to earn credits they need to refresh their credentials, and also club members to exhibit designs in horticulture. There are some things you have to consider, however, if you're having an outdoor show. The first is location. Is it completely outdoors or in a tent, on a porch, or a combination of all three? Staging. The schedule writer, once they've determined the location, will have to consider the staging. If in a yard, will designs be freestanding and therefore viewed from all sides, or will they be up against a hedge or a foundation? What is the duration of the show? A small show can be easily set up and taken down in one day. Some clubs are now planning small standard flower shows al fresco. That is 3 classes in design, 12 entries in all, along with horticulture, at least 5 classes and a minimum of 20 exhibits. They are not awarding major awards, just best in show, while other clubs are planning a full standard flower show. Today, I'm going to be talking about some designs that would work well in an outdoor show. Personally, I would stay away from a cascade design in an outdoor show. Balance is important to achieve in this design, and they tend to be top heavy. Practically speaking, they would tip over easier than other designs. And also, if it's outside on the ground on grass, say, and not a flat surface, you could be a little bit wobbly. The other designs that I would hesitate in putting in a show because of its size is a petite design. If wind is a factor, that could be a problem. That said, there's always an exception to a rule, and there's always people that want to do it anyway. And so for that case, you just try to do the best you can. The first design I'd like to suggest is an assemblage design. Vicki suggested this design for today. An assemblage is a 3-dimensional abstract design consisting of found unrelated objects and plant material. In other words, it's the use of objects which had a specific purpose other than design. They should not be radically modified, but they should remain somewhat identifiable in regards to their former life. Though the objects are considered not art and previously unrelated, the designs creatively relate to themselves through the compatible elements, qualities such as form, color, line, texture. 3 or more found objects must be greater in proportion than other components. An assemblage must be self-supporting, staged on a background panel with the components attached or a combination. I try and concentrate on a visual balance in a design. If you do, then line and rhythm will follow. So if you see on the back, this is the back of the design. I have this frame, which I found in the garage, and it's from my friend Kay Aronson, who collected a lot of stuff. And I decided to see if I could put something together with that. I went around in the garage and started, this is the front now starting, and I started looking for things. I like the yellow banding around the saw blade in the rim, and I asked my husband if I could have it. I had gotten it from, I started moving it around on here, and I decided I need another one. So I asked my husband, Peter, if he had another saw blade. He started to get very suspicious. I then realized that I had these embroidery hoops, and I had covered them in ribbon for a previous design. And so I thought, well, that'll be good, but how am I going to fix these things on here? So I have a hook back here, which I taped and painted black. I don't know what the hook was for, but again, I found it in the garage. This saw blade was like this with the yellow band. This one I painted red, and I started affixing them. Then I thought, well, I need a connector. So I went to look and see what else I had in the basement, and I came up with this yellow air hose. And I put it through the back, up through the front, and back over here again. Now, when I was doing this, I wanted to be able to put this all together in front of you. But I have to admit, working with saw blades is not easy. And so I wanted to get everything in place for you before I started adding the flowers. My third element, which I had been hoarding for some time, were these, let me see if I can move them closer to you. They're actually coasters that I had gotten about 5 years ago, all different colors. And I got them at Pier 1 on sale. And I knew they would be good for a design one day. I had never used them. So it took me some time to find them, but I did. And that's the next thing I'm going to put on this design. If anybody has any questions while I'm working, please feel free. So I'm going to put one there. And
what was the original black piece
no, I don't know. Kay had a lot of stuff. And it has these little, one of them still attached here, like these little rivet things. And I suspect it was a plant stand. So, you know, you're always thinking about what you're gonna, I mean, if you've got crazy design mind, you're always looking at stuff and thinking, how could you use it? And so I had helped clean out her house when she passed. And I just thought, well, I can probably do something with this. And here we are. It's very solid on the bottom. You can see the metal, it's heavy. And so that's why I think it would be a good idea for an outdoor show. And also it's got these panels.
What are you hooking them on with? Glue dots or something?
Oh yes, my favorite thing in the whole world, glue dots.
They fall off for me a lot though.
Well, it depends on what you're putting on. These are very lightweight. And I had it on for 2 weeks on here, but I took them off so that, you know, you had an element of surprise here. And they stick right on the metal. So it depends on what you're using them on. You know, some things work and some things don't. So I had an adventure this morning. I had to go to the wholesaler to pick up my flowers at 7 a.m. because they called on Sunday morning at 7:40 to tell me they weren't going to be in. And when I got there, some of the things were not as I expected them. I ordered Anthurium, but they're gigantic. They were supposed to be in another design. I mean, they're really big. And I ordered birds. So this is minimal plant material in this design. The elements are what's supposed to really, you know, stick out. I try to concentrate on a visual balance in a design, and if you do, the line and rhythm will follow. I was going to do the birds. That was my initial thought, because I thought that they were a nice juxtaposition to the saw blades. You know, with the round, you've got a lot of round shapes going on in here, but then in between the saw blades are very sharp edges. So I like that, and I think that this would work very, very well. And I'd probably put just one there and one there. But then I had these giant anthuriums that I didn't really want to waste. So I started fooling around with those, and I think that is the route I'm going to go with. So if you bear with me a second, I'm going to come to the front. Or actually, I could turn it. I guess I could do that. And I'm going to, I think this is the one I had here. So I'm going to stick this guy here. And what I like about the Anthurium too is that it can stay out of water a long time. I could use water tubes too. So I've got one there. And then I took the petals off of this one. It was damaged anyway, and stuck it out the hose. And then I have the back part of another one back here in the hose to give it more depth so it's not too flat. That's what I would have liked about using the birds. I think they would have had more depth. But I think this works. So we have to be flexible when we're designers, and things happen. Also, these are very flexible, easy to bend. And I would normally water tube them because I've got some stuff here. You can see, I wanted you to be able to see what the elements were here. Okay. That's not going to work. Let me get my water tube. I'm just trying to hide the mechanics without putting too much plant material in. I'm going to cut this. I have one out here on the bottom. You can see that. And then this other one's going to go right here like that. Let me get no questions? Everybody's quiet. Okay. I have to say this was a really fun design to do. I can just get it to stay. And this is leather leaf, not particularly inspiring, but.
What was the title of this assemblage?
I didn't have one, but since my husband gave me the saw blades, I'm going to call it the love machine. And these kind of look like hearts. And I think it just looks like some sort of machine. It could be kaleidoscope, I suppose you could have put on it. I still would like to try working with the birds. And this could come around a little bit more. And that's it. These are really big. That's the one thing I'm going to say.
Very nice.
I asked for small anthurium, and these are really, really, really big. And I think they might even be a little bit too big.
No, I think they balance out real well. And the color that you chose to wear today matches perfectly.
Gail, excuse me. Would it be possible to use one of the sticky buttons to hold the stem so that you don't take a risk or chance of one of the anthuriums wanting to kind of fall out of their place?
I have them secured up here very well.
Mm-hmm.
If you put the sticky tape on the back of the petal, you're going to damage it.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about on the stem?
On the stem, you could, but these work actually better than the birds also because look at the stem on this. This is pretty heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gail,
I like it that it's more of a three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gail, I noticed you used a clip at the top. What kind of clip was that?
I got these at Harbor Trading, and they're all different colors.
I can't really see it, I guess.
Take it off because it'll ruin it. But it's
No,
kind of
don't take it off.
it's kind of like a a plastic, it looks like a little plastic hole puncher, but it's a clip, and I come in all different colors, and I've had it, and because again, I thought, well, if I ever do one of these designs, it might be fun because you could actually incorporate that as part, you know, of the mechanics, but also it could be shown.
Right, because of the color and everything.
Right. And the other thing that I really liked about this design was, do I have a?
Gail, when I saw it from the side, I believe what those are mini clamps. In
Yeah,
other words, you've got the big clamps that you would use in a workshop. I'm a miniaturist, so I use a lot of those, and they come in different plastic colors.
so I thought that this would have been really pretty too, but there wasn't enough of a change. And I found that if you take the water tube, it actually sticks in here nicely and holds. And then I could have these coming out, which the color would have been good. But then if there's too many rounded shapes, and you really want to have something, you know, a little bit different. Maybe this guy could have gone.
How long did it take you to do the hardware?
The hardware, I'll tell you, this is, I worked on this over several weeks. You know, you don't know what you're doing exactly. I mean, you're working with things that don't go together, and you're just getting.
You don't know when I'm having a good time.
So I jerry rigged a lot of stuff. I have in the garage, which I do all the time, but this is like a little washer thing, but it had a hole in it, and I was able to put it in. And I don't know if you can really see it, but it's I glued it on, and then I wired it, and then it actually holds this on, and this sticks on over it.
So in other words, this took a while to make all this
It did take a while.
mechanic.
But I tell you, it's a lot of fun. And if you have time to do it, and people, you know, I'll tell you, the wholesalers, it's very difficult right now. One of our favorite wholesalers on Long Island went out of business. I went there to pick up some glue dots, and they were gone.
Who?
Pennock.
Ah, no kidding. Wow.
And so I think that the assemblage would be a really good design to do in an outdoor flower show now, because a lot of this stuff you'll have around your house, and use what you have. So that's it. Any other questions?
I just wanted to add that with the tropical flowers like that, you can keep them out of the water, and a lot of times they come in bunches. So even if your flower show was warmer weather, if you were willing to come back and replace it as the show went on, like sometime in the middle of the afternoon or towards, you know, that you could keep the things out of water and still have the flexibility of the design is the way you want it to look.
Right. And I have, I don't know if you can see this, but I took one of the inferior leaves that I had cut, and I put it in here, in through the tube and into the back, so that when it's facing forward, it's giving you more depth. So it's another color, it's the green, but it's picking up the other green in the design. Okay, so I'm gonna move.
It would be very interesting to see what that would look like against a black background,
Yes.
because the framework that it's attached to would disappear.
Yeah. Yeah, but I kind of like the framework in here too. I mean, as you can see it closer now, I kind of like it. I think it's all part of it. I thought about cutting these off, you know, these bars, so that I didn't have to try attaching something to it. And I really liked it even without the flowers on it, but well, that's me, not everybody. So yeah, I could take a picture of it against a black background. I have a photo box. I don't know if it'll fit, but I could certainly try. Okay, I'll take this down. All right, the next design I'm going to do for you is a line design on wood. Now this is a hollow wood. This is hollow. And if I can pick it up for you, you can see underneath. It would work good in an upright position, which I'm not going to do, for a group mass design. And it works well like this. However, if this was an outdoor flower show, you would have to secure this because it can be tippy. Wood is not naturally flat. So I would take tile. This is actually left over from my bathroom. It's marble, but I go to Home Depot and get a darker brown that you wouldn't necessarily see. And I would glue it to the bottom. You could also, if it was on a pedestal, you could also glue it on a regular size tile in a natural wood color so that you don't see it. And that would go under there and just hold it more securely so it doesn't tip over like it is right now. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off. When I heard my flowers were not going to be in, I was going for a walk on Saturday morning by the water, and there was a lot of wind the night before, and this umbrella pine pieces fell down on the ground. And it's just beautiful, the pine cones, although they're starting to bloom now, so they're giving off a lot of stuff. But I just love the color, and I knew I had the wood, and it just seemed to go together. And so I cut the umbrella pine down the pine cone, the leaves, and so that you could see the cones more prevalently. And then I just started filling it in. And I have these orange daisies that I'm going to put in. Some orange roses. And this is, thank God for Trader Joe's. This is, oh no, I'm going to forget the name of it. Does anybody remember the name of these? No? Can't think of it.
They look like the middle of echinacea.
Yeah, it's not. It's a common plant, but it doesn't normally look like this. This is a little bit more special. So let's see what we're going to do. I'm going to come to the front. And I like to use natural wood when it's an outdoor show. I think it just evokes the whole, feeling of being outdoors and maybe taking a walk in the woods. I didn't title any of these. Feel free to yell them out if you think it fits something. I have a way.
That's Scabiosa. Is that the name you're looking for?
Scabiosa, it is. Thank you.
How did you condition those Gerber daisies?
I have this product from Oasis that I learned at the Connecticut Symposium called Quick Dip. And Quick Dip is a fabulous product. It's not expensive. And you dip the flowers in when you cut them, or you put them in the water that you're conditioning them in. They did come with straws on. So it's important with Gerbers that when you get them, the straws go right on. Otherwise, they start to bend. And then I have these beautiful roses. They're spray roses. I have a lot of Oasis in here. I have the Oasis in freezer baggies.
The freezer baggies, excuse me, is that to keep it from losing the water going out through the bottom?
Yeah, because this is porous.
Right.
Solid piece of wood. It's just
It is open at the top, correct? So that you can
exactly.
access the Oasis?
Yes, I cut the Ziploc off.
Gail, how do you have the Oasis attached to the wood?
I put some of the thick double-sided tape inside the bottom of the wood, and then the baggie gets adhered to it.
And then what?
The baggie gets adhered to it with the, I put the baggie in before I put the Oasis in. So the plastic is on the double-sided tape lining the inside of the wood. If I show you the back, when I'm done, I will. You can see the baggie.
So you have the Oasis in a plastic tray?
No, just in a bag. Just in a bag. Not in a tray. And I do that a lot.
Is that so you can reuse the container, the wood over and over again?
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Gail, what is the green that you have that would be on your extending out to the side there? It's just, I can't see what it actually is. No, the other side, way at the end.
This?
Yeah.
That is, that's from my yard, and that is a azalea, a white azalea.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Gail, is the quick dip something liquid?
Yes.
Okay.
And any floral supply place has it, and you can also get it online. It's really fantastic. I'm sorry I'm in front of the screen.
You're good.
It's really fantastic stuff. Yeah, these Scabiosa were from Trader Joe's, believe it or not. I mean, I couldn't get anything like this at my wholesaler during Mother's Day week, but Trader Joe's had it. So you can see I'm using this container again, so I didn't want to glue those on, but you can see how important it would be to do that. I'm just going to wedge this so it doesn't move. And particularly if it was a windy day. Let's see what else we need. Okay. And I don't know, do you have Trader Joe's upstate?
In Syracuse, I know there's something like that. We've got Aldi's.
Oh, I love Aldi's.
I guess Aldi's and Trader Joe are owned by brothers. So usually you don't get two. You don't get both unless it's a bigger town.
Well,
Trader Joe's is in Pittsford outside of Rochester as well.
The
Trader Joe's.
Really inexpensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I got.
So Trader Joe's has quick dip.
Oh, they do?
No. Flowers.
No, they're for the flowers, because I had to run
That's
out.
what I thought.
My wholesaler wasn't coming through for me, but I had gotten, I think the Scabiosa was $4.99. I'm trying to think. I had very small bunches of Alströmera, but they were, put this back here. They were $2.99. I mean, you can't beat that. And I think
Could you tell us where you get the quick dip? Places like Michael's and stuff.
I get it from my wholesaler, but I believe you can get it online at Amazon, and probably Michael has it, maybe.
If you can't get it online at Amazon, you don't need it.
Exactly. That's where I got my glue dots when the wholesaler was closed. I get panicky if I'm doing programming, I don't have my glue dots. Okay, and I think that's pretty full. I mean, maybe we could put something here, but I think I'm gonna call it a day. And I'm gonna turn it around. As you can see, this would be good viewed from all sides except the back. I would have to finish it. But I want you to see, I left it open so you could see the plastic in here. You can see the baggie. Can you see that? So if it was a show, I would be covering it all up.
So you
Yeah,
use
what-
the freezer bag weight, so it's a little heavier. It wouldn't be a light bag. It would be more freezer weight.
What is the flower that's sticking high up, Gail? In your arrangement?
That is Loader's walking stick. You talking about this?
No, no. Not the stick, the flower, the plant with the 3 flowers.
That's Alstroemeria.
Here.
Oh, that's your Alstroemeria, okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, I like it.
Anything else, or we're good to go?
Explain the line, Gail.
It's
Like
beautiful.
line, like
It's
how to
just a mass design.
mass design.
I mean, I'm going in 2 different directions.
Right.
Let's say it's a horizontal line or a vertical line. It's just a mass design.
Could you just move over so that we get a picture of, yes, thank you.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Good, thank you
A
so much.
piece of wood is gorgeous, everything.
Could I mention a piece of trivia about Alstroemeria?
Sure.
If you were to take and lay your finger on the top of an Alstroemeria leaf and follow the leaf back to the stem, just before it reaches a stem, it does a complete 180.
Yes.
So every time you look at an Alstroemeria leaf, you're actually looking at the bottom of the leaf.
Oh, wow, interesting.
I love that. Thank you. Okay, I'll take this guy and move him. And my next one is also using wood. We have a complete clean slate here because what I was gonna do, I didn't get the flowers, but that's okay. All right, this is wood. Also, I got this at the beach this winter on a walk, and what I love about this piece of wood is you can use it in all different ways. It can go flat like this. It can go like this. I drilled a hole in it. It can go like this. And it kind of looks like somebody diving. I think this is the way I liked it. Or it can go like this. And as I found out today, and every good flower arranger that's been in flower shows knows, you have to have a plan B when plan A doesn't work out. So if I was doing it the other way with the top part out, there's really no way for me to attach anything on here. So I could use, and I actually should show you that first. I could use the Protea and have it going, you know, without putting it in water, because this will last a little bit with some leaves, and call it a day. But this, I'm going to do it this way and see what happens.
The stand is something that you had made?
No, actually, this is from Kay also. And I don't know what it was, but it's got, she probably bought it somewhere at a symposium or whatnot.
Or found it in her driveway.
Oh, maybe. It's got 2 little ends. I don't know, can you see this? It's got like these little bars that stick out. And so what's great about that is it holds this if I want to tilt it down. And I got a router for Christmas because my old one broke. And that seemed to work. Okay, now I'm gonna just take Oasis and stick it on here. If I was doing it for a show, again, I would have it in plastic and lined because this does make a mess. But I'm not gonna do that now because I wanted to show you the wood in all different directions. These are Aspedistra leaves. They are gigantic. I was hoping for smaller. So as I said, this isn't a practice design. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't even know if this is gonna work. These are so big. I probably would have been better off with hosta. This is gigantic. I'm gonna take that out. So I think we'll just try some of these. This is the leather leaf again. My daughter came to visit me this weekend for Mother's Day, since I'm not going to see her next weekend, and brought me a bouquet of flowers, which is coming very handy. And this is from the bouquet. And then I have Protea, cushion Protea. And let's see. They kind of look like heads. A little bit.
Gail, where were you able to get your Protea?
I got those from the wholesaler.
Okay, great.
It's the one thing they did have. But you know, the birds might look interesting in here too. Oh God, that's kind of creepy, isn't it? It's like a head. Yeah, that could be interesting too.
Do we know what category this is?
It's just, it's a creative design. I didn't, with weathered, I'm using weathered wood. But that's kind of interesting. I don't know, what do you think?
I like it.
Let's try that.
I like it.
Me too.
The structure looks like a bird, so it kind of works together.
Yeah, I like it very much.
Birds go very well.
Yeah.
It's got an Alexander Calder feeling.
A floral sculpture.
Should I do any more? I don't know. Should I don't want to overdo it because this, you know, you don't want to add too much, but the colors are pretty. I don't know.
Could it be a hanging design or not?
The hanging design, it could be, but it wouldn't be on here. It would have to be in a frame.
Yeah.
Well, I could just fill it in with greens, or I could put another flower in there. I don't know if I want to do too much of the flower because the birds are really,
No.
right? Help me out, Vicki. What do you think?
Yeah, I would keep it simple. Yeah.
I wouldn't add anything.
Okay, then
You
I'll
have
just
to see the front to know.
green it in. Green it in. So I don't have really anything else I think I can use here for greens. These are the size of the Astra leaves. I mean, they're Aspedistra. They're gigantic.
Cut them down.
So yeah, I know I should have, but I didn't have time because I picked them up this morning.
You can divide it in two.
Yeah.
Cut it in the middle.
Cut it in half. Let's try
Cut
that.
it in half.
Linda, how am I doing on time? Because I want to get to all my designs.
Oh, pardon me. Oh my, you're at 12:42.
Okay, so what, I have 20 minutes left?
You have about 18 minutes, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to speed this up and probably not finish this one. But yes,
That's okay. We get the idea.
the smaller one would be much better. Yeah. Somehow. Okay, I'll let me turn it around so you can see it from my perspective too, because it's interesting on all sides. And then if we took it off, not so much.
Excuse me, Gail, it's a little bit dark, but is that just the plain Oasis, or do you have something wrapped over the Oasis?
I don't have anything wrapped now because I wanted to show you the wood, but if this was a show, yes, it would be somehow wrapped. And if I had to put leaves over it, you know, I could do it that way to cover it. I could even use the leaf probably as a wrap if I fooled around with it. Okay, I'm gonna put this guy,
Thank you.
and we're gonna go to the next one. The next one is,
Gail, how would that hold up in the rain, in the wind? It looks like it would be very tippy.
it would be. And that's why I like that wood, because if I had to take it off, If it was a windy day, I wouldn't use the stand.
Okay.
I'd put it flat and I'd readjust what I was doing with my design. We have to be flexible, especially with an outdoor show. Okay. The next one I have is another line design. This one's already done. These containers are made out of slate. So they're very, let me move him out of the way. They're very heavy. And if you needed them to be heavier, you could put stones or rocks in there. And they can, and I've got 3 containers here. So they can be, moved around to how you want it. What I did was, I had these sticks with the raffia around them. And so I thought the rose would be perfect because it's kind of got that wrapping around. And then to take it even further, some of these leaves were in my way. So I just put a glue dot on the end of this. And the japonicas from my garden. It was, perfect this time of year, color-wise. I'm just gonna peel this off if I can. And I'm gonna curl the leaf down. And it's just another repetition of the curl on the.
Are you allowed to blue dot in the flower show?
Yes, as long as it's not seen. Why couldn't you? Why wouldn't you think you could do it?
Because I think it's cheating.
The glue dot?
Yes.
No.
Especially, yeah, I do. Especially when you just said what you did. You pushed a leaf back to make it sit in place.
Yes.
That's kind of cheating.
No, it's called leaf manipulation, and it's part of it.
Okay, there's a new word.
It's part of a creative design is to do, things that normally wouldn't be done. So, okay, any questions on this one? No.
No, it's beautiful.
Thank you. You could also, you could do just one of these also, but I like the 3 together. And if it was a windy day, I could push them closer, make it more of one, where I could move them farther back to give it more depth.
Gail, from my perspective, I can't see that you have more than one there. Can you turn it to the side so we can see what the bases are, please?
No, I wanted it to look like one. I didn't want you to be able to tell.
It looks like one. Okay. I see. Thank you. Beautiful.
If this was viewed from all sides, then I would be putting them together because I would want it to look like one. And so that when you went on the side, but this was viewed from the front. It would look interesting on the side as well. And I think this would probably, is Marion Romeo here? No, I think.
Yes, I am. I'm here.
I think this would probably work in a rose show, don't you? Because the rose is really the star of the show.
Absolutely.
Gail, could that also be a parallel design?
No, I mean, could you make it a parallel design?
Yeah.
It's not a parallel design. No.
By using the 3 containers, it gives it more depth.
Yes, a parallel design.
There you go.
We don't have parallel design anymore, do we? I thought they took that out in the new handbook.
No, we still have it.
We still do?
Yeah.
That is elegant. That is very nice. Very elegant.
I've got to move it over. That wood that I just did, the elongated natural wood one, that would be really nice in a parallel design. Okay. Now this I just did because of the container for an outdoor show. It's just a simple mass design, but this container is made out of metal and it is really heavy. We gotta get these birds out of the way. But you can see now that it's just a regular mass design. Extremely heavy. So this would be a good container for an outdoor show. Linda, time?
Could I just,
Sorry, Ricky. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that if you're planning a small outdoor show, you can mix design styles too and just have a best in show. So you could have something like Gail has demonstrated with a mass design, or you could have something like a low profile, or even put a table, a picnic design in, and then you could mix the table styles if you don't have sections, but you have a best in show. So that's a good way to have to get started back in flower shows.
You have 10 minutes, Gail.
Okay, thank you. Good segue, because my last design is, yes, you can have a table design at an outdoor flower show. My club has 48-inch square wood platforms that are 8-inch high. They sit on the ground. Basically, they're plywood boxes. The beauty of it is that a tablecloth can be stapled to the bottom or a covering. I usually go to the fabric store and get fabric when I'm doing that design, and I cover it. And then it can't blow away. So it's down on the ground low. Today I'm going to be doing a Memorial Day design. Again, I had to really change things around because I had ordered blue delphinium, which I did not get. And I ordered the anthurium for this, but they were supposed to be the small ones. So this is just to give you an idea. I suggest that if you are doing it outdoor, that you do not use the melamine, this stuff, unless it's weighted down with something else, and that you use earthenware that would be suitable for a picnic. Because the paper in the melamine tends to be lighter weight and can easily blow. So you want something a little bit more substantial, but remember that because it's an outdoor arrangement, it's not going to be fine dining. So it's got to be suitable to what you're doing. And this is a little large, but I wanted you to get the idea. Oh, I went out in my garden when I came home from the florist this morning. And I picked anything blue that I had, which wasn't much, but it'll have to be enough. And I'm going to fill in with other things. So I have an adapter in the top of this. This is really a big design. So picture this, I don't know. It's a big design for this table, but my idea was that it was going to be in the background. So I have an adapter in here on the top. If I can take it, I can't take it out, but trust me, it's a candle adapter. And I'm going to put this little guy on top. And then I have some red roses. And shout out if you have questions. These were supposed to be open more. They're really tiny.
Is this a layered design?
This is just another mass design, but I kind of layered it like a cake. Because I wanted.
That's what it looks like. It looks layered.
Yeah. So my idea on this was I was supposed to have the blue delphinium coming up, and I was going to have like red swirly things coming out. But as I said, you gotta think on the fly and make it work.
What are the white flowers?
What is the container?
Oh, it's just a flat dish. Plastic. Whoop. See the black? Can you see it?
Yeah.
It's just a flat, cheap from the wholesaler, the dishes that we use. It's black, and I wanted to make sure that you could see the bottom of it. But I'm gonna yes.
Gail, you say that the design is large. So when you're competing, the design would be too large for the table?
It would be too large for the way I'm showing it.
Right. Okay.
But on the table, I think it would be fine.
And this would be an exhibition table, right?
No, this is not an exhibition table, but the way I'm showing you is just to give you an idea of the things that I would use. The one that we use in our club is an actual low box of wood.
So the plates would be flat on the table.
Exactly. And
Okay.
the arrangement could be to one side, or it could be in the middle. And this is something else that could work too. It's like a little flower pot. You could do that, you know, if you wanted to too, on top. You really jazz it up. I mean, 4th of July is fun. This looks a little bit more, unfortunately, because I had to pick up the baby's breath at Trader Joe's. You know, the baby's breath looks a little bit wedding-y. But the Alstramera that I got from the wholesaler is white and it's not even open. So you can't see it. And I had to figure out something quickly to give you the idea of the white. So I had to use the baby's breath. It's not my favorite. I really don't care for it. I know a lot of
We can be creative and use our imagination. You could use pin cushions or something else, or, you know.
So my idea
Fireworks.
do, oh no, I have them here. The anthurium, the smaller ones coming up with the delphiniums over it, you know, it'll kind of look
Or
like
allium. We could envision a lot of things.
I wanted
Looks great.
more of a, yeah, it's pretty big right now. I wanted it to look more like a explosion of fireworks. So I had switched napkins this morning, and I have this bandana looking one, and so it's got yellow in it. And because I need a focal point in this design, since I don't have anything that's really the right size, I'm going to use the sunflowers. And that will pick up the yellow in here. And I probably want to find some other place to put yellow in, but I think this will work. At least I hope it will. Any questions on outdoor flower shows?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Gail, I have one question. Were you including the tray with the previous design?
No.
Okay.
On the black.
What?
I wanted to show you it on the black. So
I see.
It is the black.
Thank you.
And of course, it was easier for me to move that way.
What would the people do if it rained that day?
Well, we were supposed to have one at my club in the library, and we have what we call the library circle. It's a circular driveway that is in front of the library. So we were actually going to do it outdoors. You have two options. You can have a rain date, or you can have a place to bring it in. If you do a small standard show, it's easy, it's easy to break it down and or put, do whatever you have to do. We were doing just best in show. And so that was going to work, I think, fine. We were doing best in show in design, and we're also in horticulture.
You said a small standard show was 3 classes in design, and what else?
12 entries, and at least 5 in horticulture, 20 exhibits minimum.
I have a question. Our Judges Council does a lot. They ask for a back panel a lot. Can you give me suggestions on how outdoors you can keep a back panel secure?
Oh, that would be really hard. Unless you were using one like I did, which is almost like a frame, but a solid back panel is probably not a great idea.
Okay, I'm going to pass that along. They're so into back panels.
Well, I know, and people get things on their, in their minds, and it's really hard to make them switch. That's what I say. I would never say never, but you want your show to go smoothly. So why make it difficult on everybody?
Gail, what about the horticulture show or the design show separate? Like just one thing?
Yes, you can do that.
That seems like it might be easier to stage.
Yeah, well, we were doing a small show and we were going to be using tables and pedestals. So, you know, it would have been, they were from the library, so it would have been very easy to do. Molly, you want to say anything about that?
Well, it's a work in process and you've been very inspirational today. I hope some of our other members are watching. We did have a rain date set aside for the file. For our show would have been on Friday, so we were planning to do the rain date on Saturday. We're still hoping to pull it off perhaps sometime in the near future. You know, I think it's an adventure and we have to be willing to be a little more flexible because it's something that hasn't been done much.
Right. So if the library was open, we would know that we would reserve the meeting room and know that we could just move everything in there if we had to.
Correct.
Yeah. So
You could even have something fun like a children's theme where the design's in a wagon, say in a little, if everybody had, you know, 4 people had a little red wagon or something like that, you know, some creative different staging props that are easily brought in, you know, children's tables for a low profile design, or if your club might have had cubes in the past, some kind of 20-inch by 20-inch cubes, they're very sturdy for outdoors too.
okay, so this is it. This is
good.
It's a little large, but I think on these tables you need something large. And remember, if you had 4 of these, I mean, I think it would be okay. One there. This could be here or here. Might do it there so you could see the colors better against the design. And my little guys up top. And I like these adapters. I did some designs this fall for garden clubs with these. Let me pull it out. And you can put mini pumpkins or gourds on top of here, or even plants. You know, you could stick a small plant in here, and it would be really pretty. So there's a lot you can do with these. They're one of my favorite things after glue dots.
Where do you get the adapters?
I get them at the wholesaler. I'm pretty sure that Michael's has them as well. But your Ways and Means should have that stuff if we ever get back together again. So thank you so much for having me today. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Nice job, Gail.
Excellent. Thank you.
Let us know when
Thank
your-
you, Gail.
Will you let us know when your outdoor show is?
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Gail.
Beautiful, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Gail.
Thank you.